Hey there, Talia here, founder of Workweek Lunch, and today we are going to talk about freezer meal prep. About a month ago, my partner and I got a deep freezer, and we've been stocking it full with freezer meal preps. This is a type of meal prep where you are cutting up ingredients and kind of putting them in a bag or a container, and then you're cooking it fresh when you want to eat them. So instead of cooking a whole meal and doing the whole process from start to finish and then freezing it, you are just preparing it, freezing it, and then cooking it when you want it so that it's more fresh. So this video, we're going to show you 5 recipes to do this kind of meal prep with. We have some vegan ones, some vegetarian ones, some meat ones, and no matter what you choose to do, I hope that inspires you to incorporate this into your meal prep routine. It's been a game changer for us. I pretty much stopped prepping dinners thanks to this process because now we just use these freezer meal preps as dinners. It's really, really great. I'll be linking everything in the description for the recipes, the containers we're using, and other container recommendations, a link to our deep freezer and everything, so pop down there. Also, if you like videos like this, hit that subscribe button, throw us a like, throw us a comment below. We are putting out new videos every Tuesday this year and some special videos on Fridays, so stay tuned. Freezer prep. So to get started, you are going to need a knife and a cutting board. This is my Nakano knife. You can grab the link in the description. Really, really important to have a good cutting board and knife. You're gonna need your storage vestibules for the frozen meals, whatever you're freezing your meals in. I'm using these Ziploc bags that are left over from the first time I did this. They happen to have these fancy holiday designs on them, but one side luckily doesn't, so you also need a Sharpie to write down and label what is in each freezer bag. So before I do a lot of cooking, I like to make a plan. So this is my little whiteboard. I'm making a freezer beef chili, freezer chicken fajitas, a lentil curry, pork tacos, and a lasagna. First up, we have chicken fajitas, one of my favorite freezer preps. Mainly, the reason you would do a freezer prep for chicken fajitas is to save time on all that chopping. Fajitas are very fast to cook, but it's really great when you can just take this out of the freezer, throw it in the oven, and you're good to go. So specifically, I'm chopping up different color bell peppers. I'm not seasoning them now. Usually I season them when I cook them with some taco seasoning and salt and pepper. And I throw them in the broiler, which gets them really crispy and thaws them out. And it really doesn't feel like they're frozen at all. It's amazing. I'm also making a marinade for the chicken. So this is a really awesome technique you can use for any protein. I'm going to do this a few times in this video, but you can make a marinade for any protein, freeze it, and then cook it from frozen. And you have super flavorful protein. This recipe will be in the blog post linked in the description, so you can grab that below. I'm mixing it up and I'm going to add chicken and this marinade to my bag. This could work with steak, it could work with tofu, really any protein. So I'm using a pound of chicken in each bag, and that will give me about 3 servings. It's great when you can make this for dinner and then you have one leftover serving for the next day. The way I would do this chicken is thawing it out in the fridge overnight and then searing it in the cast iron skillet and cooking it that way, or I can put it in the Instant Pot and shred it, kind of make some shredded chicken fajitas. There are a lot of different ways you can do this, and all that information is in the blog post below. It's also important to freeze your protein separately because you're going to be cooking it separately, so this makes it a little bit easier. So this can last for about 3 to 6 months in the freezer, depending on how you freeze it. You can use a scale to measure and weigh kind of each bag to make sure that you are putting an even amount of ingredients in each bag, but I was eyeballing it. If you wanted to use a scale though, I have the one that I like to use linked below. The less air in the bag is better. If you have a lot of air in the bag, that's how you get freezer burn. And make sure that you label your bag before you fill it with food. It's really hard to write on a bag full of food. Make sure you seal that bag all the way. You also don't want a leak in your freezer, that's terrible, so make sure you seal it really well. And that's it. So the next few recipes are gonna go a little bit faster because again, it's mostly just chopping, prepping ingredients, and assembling. This is for my pork tacos. So this is a barbecue marinade I'm making. The recipe again is in the blog post below in the description, but the main ingredients are basically soy sauce, sweetener, garlic, something spicy, I'm using mustard, and the key ingredient to any really delicious barbecue marinade is citrus. If you have a grapefruit, an orange, a clementine, anything, just throw that citrus in there. It really takes it to the next level. I'm using a little clementine or mandarin, I forget. It's so good though, trust me. So this marinade will just get poured into a bag with pork. This is a pork shoulder that I got from the meat counter. This is my favorite thing to use for shredded pork. It shreds really well, it's delicious. And I got 2 pounds, so I'm just splitting it in half, and this will last us for a while. I mean, it makes about 3 to 4 meals of tacos, but hey, what's wrong with a lot of tacos? And so I'm just putting it in the bag, adding the marinade, sealing it up, freezing it, and that's it. The other ingredients for this taco meal are meant to be eaten fresh. You do not want to freeze anything that you want to eat fresh. So that's like cilantro, avocado, radishes, lettuce. That should all be assembled when you're going to eat it and be fresh, not frozen. And if you've ever made anything like this, tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear your take on it. Share your wisdom with everyone else. This next meal is a lentil curry. So I'm doing a different technique for this curry because I found in my tests that if you just dump all the ingredients into a pan, the flavors are just not great. They're not as good as they could be. So we're prepping this in a way to really bring out the potential in our ingredients. I'm using cauliflower and carrots as vegetables in my curry, but you can use whatever vegetables you want. And as you can see, I'm freezing the onion separately because I want to cook the onion before I cook other ingredients to build that flavor. Again, just dumping it all in the Instant Pot is just not gonna be extremely flavorful. Trust me on the process. Curries are pretty quick, but again, this is saving me time on the chopping, and I'm really excited to eat this later. I want to apologize in advance. I did not frame the next shot very well and you can't see what I'm putting in the bowl, but I will walk you through it. In the bowl, I'm adding lentils, tomatoes, and my curry spice blend, which again, the recipe is in the description below. It's in the blog post in the description below. I would have also loved to add coconut milk, but I didn't have any. So I'm just kind of mixing it all together in the bowl. I'm going to add it to the freezer bag, and that is my curry sauce with lentils. You can use whatever protein you want with this, but I thought lentils would be really easy. Again, when you label, you can add cooking instructions and the date and everything, and then you'll know how to cook it. So this can last for about 3 to 4 months. Again, there's definitely more air happening in here because of the way I'm packing it, but should be good. The next and last meal is our favorite freezer meal, lasagna. This actually does require a little bit of cooking, but I promise it's worth it. So I have all my classic lasagna ingredients. We've got this veggie filling that I cooked before. We have oven ready noodles. So these are the noodles you don't have to boil before. I have some Parmesan cheese, and I have my super cubes. So these super cubes are made of silicone. You can actually bake in them, and I'm using the 2-cup trays. They're linked below in the description, and they make a perfect serving size for lasagna. I love them. So basically we're gonna assemble it in here, and then when you're ready to eat it, take it out of your freezer and bake it right in these containers. My recipe is below. You can grab that down there, but I'm basically just layering tomato sauce, ricotta, noodles, my veggie filling, Parmesan cheese, mozzarella cheese, all that good stuff. This one takes a little more work, but I promise it's worth it. So the way to thaw these out, you basically take them out of the freezer, pop them in the oven at 375, and it takes an hour to come to a good temperature to eat. And that's it. This only took me about an hour to do, and I have a bunch of meals to enjoy over the next few weeks and months, really. All right, that took me about 3 hours to do, and that was with the filming. Those meals will last in the freezer for a few months, and we will just kind of cycle through them as needed. And every weekend or every other weekend, I'm probably gonna prep a few more so that our stash keeps growing and we have more variety. If you have any other questions about how these recipes work or how to reheat them, drop them in the comments. More than happy to answer. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!